everybody, and welcome back. For those of you who don't know, Jennifer Lawrence said something pretty disparaging on the Graham Norton show, I believe. She was talking about how she defiled sacred Hawaiian things by wiping her butt with it. I think it was pretty unanimous among most people of color that was a really stupid and dumb joke to make. I'm not making this video to explain to you why it is. I'm sure that there are plenty of articles that you can Google that explain why what she said is fucked up and why this isn't just Jennifer Lawrence being cute crude anymore. Because I've seen a lot of people in my life, on the internet, and especially celebrities, making similar types of apologies like the one that Jennifer Lawrence put out on her Facebook. From Jen to the internet, : I meant absolutely no disrespect to the Hawaiian people. I really thought that I was being self-deprecating about the fact that I was the curse, but I understand the way it was perceived was not funny, and I apologize if I offended anyone. What's great is that the internet has already been responding to me, so I apologize if this is old news, but a lot of people are already identifying this apology as a fake apology, a faux apology, as XO Jane puts it, which I will also reference to you later. I think the biggest thing that people are pointing out about this apology is the use of if. And that's really a type of apology that people really need to re-examine and unlearn and unpack. So I'm gonna do my best to try to explain to you why her apology feels like a fake apology. My whole thing is where is the if in this conversation anymore and in this controversy that you have now? There is no if anymore. There are so many people on the internet that spoke up against your offensive, not funny joke. I really feel the way people say, I'm sorry if I offended you, it's really a way for people to kind of cling on to this possibility that maybe it's still not you, it's me. That maybe it's still my fault that I'm offended by this and I'm too sensitive and that you were just making a funny joke. Again, there is no if in the statement anymore. People have expressed that they are offended by what you said very explicitly and clearly. If there was an if to this, then you wouldn't be writing the status, would you? You were writing the status on your Facebook because what you said is offensive. There's no if it was offensive. It is offensive. And also the way she was I understand that the way it perceived was not funny. It still sounds like you're clinging on to this possibility that the internet who listened to your joke just doesn't get it. This goes back to what I said earlier about how so many people hide behind this idea that it's just my opinion. When she says the way that it was perceived, it implies that there's still room for interpretation of whether or not this joke was funny. It wasn't funny. This isn't just my humor is not for everybody. Everybody has their own taste, so I'm sorry. That's what it sounds like. It's not a matter of I have a limited perspective and I don't see humor very well, so I didn't think it was funny. It was not a funny joke. If you didn't notice, Chris Pratt even was really appalled by what you said. He was super uncomfortable. And to drive the point home, I really wanted to read a little bit from this great article from XO Jane that talks about this idea of the faux apology. And I know XO Jane might be too liberal for some of you, so I'm sorry, this is an opinion piece and this person's opinion is very intelligent, and if you don't think it's intelligent, then I don't know what to tell you. I'll leave a link to the full article in the description below, but I'll just pull out some excerpts that I really like and I think will help illustrate and elevate my point. So the title is, I'm sorry you feel that way. Faux apology not accepted. The faux apology is the opposite of a sincere, thoughtful apology. It is not caring that you've upset someone, not acknowledging their feelings as valid and legitimate. It's saving one's own ass. I don't know if I would necessarily say that Jennifer Lawrence is not a sincere person, and I wouldn't say that her post was not sincere necessarily, but I do agree with the idea that that apology was not thoughtful. Just underneath the faux apology, the apologist is quietly suggesting that they believe it is absurd that people are upset in the first place. Speaking from experience, it's hard to issue a sincere apology if you're not willing or able to understand why people are upset. Here are the 5 components to any effective apology. Number 1, I care that you're upset. Number 2, what you feel is valid and legitimate. Number 3, this is what I did that hurt, angered, and upset you. 4, I was wrong. I'm dismayed and disappointed by my behavior. She definitely did not say that. 5, what can I do to make amends? I will do all I can to help you heal. You don't have to grovel at someone's feet. You just have to mean what you say. This is why a faux apology will never do. And I also just retweeted someone on Twitter whose tweet is blowing up for editing and rewriting her apology, which I love. So I'll read it out to you too, and I'll hopefully leave a picture of it up here. From Jen to Sovereign Nation of Hawaii. I meant absolutely no disrespect to the Hawaiian people. I just thought my itchy ass was more important than your sacred rocks, and my need to be seen as quirky and funny outweighed your right to be respected. I really thought that I was pulling off being self-deprecating about the fact that I was the curse, even though I acknowledged that I was clearly mocking your beliefs through the entire story, and in fact the real curse is the ongoing illegal occupation of lands by a Haiole government that, I'm sorry if I read that wrong, of a Haiole government that also stole their own lands from First Nations peoples, but still insists to everyone that we are the good guys. But I digress. I understand the way it was perceived was not funny, which is only appropriate as it was, in fact, rude and ignorant, and I apologize unreservedly for my repugnant, offensive behavior. So yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, appreciate the sentiment and appreciate the apology, but it's not enough, and words mean things, and like the way that your language is formed, like it's implying that you are not actually sorry and that you're still pinning some of this onto the people who are speaking out against you as opposed to taking full responsibility for yourself. You know, I hear people using the metaphor all the time, like if you stepped on someone's foot by accident, you would never say to someone like, oh, I'm sorry if I hurt you. So if you step on someone and they say ow, you can't be like, oh, I'm sorry if I hurt you. They said ow. Like, you hurt them. Why else would someone say ow? But you know what? This isn't just Jennifer Lawrence's problem, all right? Like, I really hope that people don't pin me as like a J-Law hater. You know what? Fine. Call me a J-Law hater if you want. Until she issues like a better apology, like I'm not really into supporting her work. I don't watch a lot of films anyways, but like I'm going to consciously probably not watch her. But I do think that there's a lot of learning that just we can do from her mistake. Whenever I do something wrong, I make a conscious effort of taking responsibility, even though it can be difficult because, you know, I've talked before, everybody still has like this defensive mechanism that happens when people call them out or criticize them. And I've made a previous video before talking about how it's really difficult for humans to admit that they're wrong. I think it's just an intrinsic thing about human nature that makes me very skeptical about how quickly we're going to be progressing as a people. But yeah, like it's really hard to admit that like you don't know or that you were wrong, completely in the wrong. I definitely think that this is something that we can all learn from in terms of making sure that our language is respectful and does not attempt to place any of that blame back on the people that you offended, because this is not about you. This is about their feelings that were hurt and that are very valid. And so it's just very important to always take a step back, read an article like the one with XO Jane, and go through all of those steps, you know, saying that like, hey, like, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I was wrong. I said something racist. Specifically state that you were wrong, not and that you were offensive and that you hurt someone. I hope that you can hear like the huge difference between those two phrases of being like, I was racist, I'm sorry, as opposed to like, I'm sorry if what I said was interpreted as racist. Have you had any experiences where you had to apologize and it was really, really difficult for you? Please share if you feel comfortable in the comments below. Yeah, that's all I've got right now. Jayla, please educate yourself. It's all right that you made a mistake. It's totally fine. You're not a bad person, but you do need to be open to learning about these things. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really, really love and appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Bye.